All right, so moving on to the next segment. I'll be sharing my thoughts on Dana White's announcements on the up and coming UFC fights that will be taking place this summer in the sport of MMA inside the UFC world. So, after UFC 300 concluded, Dana White said that he has a future plan of the fights that we'll be seeing in the month of June in the UFC. Starting off with the main event of the UFC pay-per-view, UFC 302. You will see Islam Makhachev defend his lightweight championship against Dustin Poirier in the main event of UFC 302. I do believe that this fight between Islam Makhachev and Dustin Poirier could be very interesting in the main event of UFC 302 with the lightweight championship on the line. And I think this is going to be one of those fights that could go either way. I know how elite Islam Makhachev is, and I understand how great Dustin Poirier is. I've stated in the past, Dustin Poirier is one of the greatest UFC fighters to never win a world title. But if we get that same Dustin Poirier that got in the octagon at UFC 299, that went in there and beat Benoit Saint-Denis and knocked him out, I do believe that it sets up for an interesting, compelling championship fight between Islam Makhachev and Dustin Poirier. So I am looking forward to that fight. I don't have a winner just yet, but anything could happen in that lightweight championship fight. And then you look at UFC 302, the co-main event on that card, you will be getting former middleweight champion Sean Strickland taking on Paulo Costa in the main event for a compelling middleweight championship fight. Now, I do believe that that co-main event will be very interesting because both Sean Strickland and Paulo Costa love to strike, and they're both known for their striking ability. So I expect this fight to be standing up for a majority of the fight. I will be very shocked if it is on the ground in the grappling department. So expect an ongoing striking fest, a striking warfare taking place in the co-main event. And I do believe it's going to be an entertaining fight, and I do believe that someone is going to get knocked out in the co-main event because of how dangerous Sean Strickland and Paulo Costa are. I think that's going to be a compelling co-main event with possibly some middleweight championship implications down the line for the end of 2024 or early 2025 for the winner, possibly being next in line for the middleweight championship, for a middleweight championship fight. And then the last announcement that he had for UFC 303 in the main event, you will see the returning Conor McGregor take on Michael Chandler. Now, this fight between Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler has been building for months now, and we will finally see Conor McGregor return back to the octagon. He's been sidelined for nearly 3 years. After he lost to Dustin Poirier in the summer 2021. Conor McGregor is one of the biggest stars in UFC history. Now, Dana White needs to take some accountability for this one because he's charging $1,100 for nosebleed tickets in the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada for this fight that will end up finishing within 2 to 3 rounds. And so I think that's a ripoff. $1,100 for a nosebleed ticket for a fight that's not going to go the distance. And I do believe the build-up is going to be fun. And I do believe that somebody will get finished between Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler in the main event of UFC 303 this summer. But those are my thoughts on Dana White announcing the up-and-coming fights that will be taking place in the month of June in the sport of MMA and the UFC world.